Hello students, Standard 9th, Subject Science and Technology Part 1, Chapter number 14, Substances in Common Use. In last video, we have studied about the some chemical substances in day-to-day life. In these substances, we have studied the food colors and essences, second one dye, and the third one artificial colors. So we have studied all these substances, they contain chemical substance in it. Now in this video we are going to study some further substances which also contains chemicals in it or chemical substances in it. The first one, that is the deodorant. So we know that student, body odor, it is caused by the bacterial decomposition of the sweat, and that is why a deodorant is used to prevent this odor. So everybody likes a fragrant deodorant to remain fresh the whole day. School children use a deo on a large scale. This large scale use of deo in adolescent is a result of the advertisements shown on television. Deodorants contain parabens. For example, methyl, ethyl, propyl, benzyl and butyl. All these substances are nothing but the chemicals, and also alcohol in large proportions. Aluminum compounds and silica are also used in these deodorants. So this deodorant, it has different types. The first one, ordinary deo. It contains a smaller proportion of aluminum. It decreases the odor of the sweat. Number 2, antiperspirant deo. This decreases the extent of sweating. It contains about 15% of aluminum chlorohydrate. It clogs the sweat pores on the skin. And the third type, that is the clinical deo. Some people sweat heavily and it has harmful effects on the skin. Clinical deo is meant for such people. So it contains 20 to 25% aluminum in it. It is used during the night time. This deodorant, it has some harmful effects. Number 1, aluminum zirconium compounds are the most harmful chemicals in the deodorant. Disorders like headache, asthma, respiratory disorders, heart disease are likely to occur without our knowledge. Number 2, there is a possibility of various skin disorders and also skin cancer due to the aluminum carbohydrates. After that, the second substance which we use in our day-to-day life, that is the Teflon. Teflon, it is used for coating cooking utensils and industrial equipment to avoid sticking. So it is the polymer of tetrafluoroethylene, and this Teflon, it was discovered by Roy J. Plunkett in 1938. Its chemical name is polytetrafluoroethene. The chemical formula is C2F4 N times. So this Teflon has different properties. Number 1, the atmosphere and chemical substances have no effect on Teflon. Number 2, neither water nor oil will stick to Teflon coated articles. Number 3, high temperatures do not affect Teflon as its melting point is 327 degrees Celsius. Number 4, Teflon coated articles, they are easy to clean. This Teflon, It is used in different in a different way. So the first use of Teflon, that is, Teflon is a poor conductor of electricity. Therefore, Teflon cladded wires and parts, they are used in high technology electronics instruments. Number 2, it is used for making non-stick kitchenware. Number 3, the colored metal shades of two-wheelers and four-wheelers are given a Teflon coating to protect them from damage due to high temperature and rain. After that, the powder coating. This powder coating, it also contains some chemical substances. And this powder coating, it is a method of applying a layer harder than paint on the surface of iron object to prevent rusting. So in this method, a polymer resin, a pigment and some other ingredients are mixed, cooled and ground into a uniform powder. This powder is sprayed on the polished metal surface by electrostatic spray deposition, which is in short it is known as ESD. So in this method, the particles of the powder are given an electrostatic charge, due to which a uniform layer of the powder sticks to the metal surface. Then the object is heated in the over along with the coating. A chemical reaction occurs in the layer, resulting in the formation of long cross linked polymeric chains. This powder coating is highly durable, hard and attractive. Powder coating can be done on plastic and medium density fiber, which is in short known as MDF board, in day-to-day use as well. After that, let us study about the anodizing. This anodizing method, it is also used some chemical substances in it, and it is used to protect the aluminum metal or aluminum utensils. A protective layer is formed naturally on the surface of aluminum metal by reaction with oxygen in air. In the anodizing process, this layer can be made of the desired thickness. Anodizing is done by electrolysis. Dilute acid is taken in the electrolytic cell and the aluminum article is dipped in it as the anode. When an electric current is passed, hydrogen gas is released at the cathode and oxygen gas at the anode. A reaction with oxygen occurs and a layer of hydrated aluminum oxide is formed on the anode, that is the iron article. This layer can be made attractive by adding different colors in the cell during electrolysis. After that, let us study about the last point of this chapter, that is the ceramic. Ceramic, it is a heat resistant substance formed by kneading an inorganic substance in water and then shaping it and hardening it by heating. Pots made by a potter, Mangalore roofing tiles, construction bricks, pottery, terracotta articles are some examples of common ceramic articles that we see around. So, how can we make ceramic articles? So, when clay is kneaded in water, shaped and then fired in a kiln at a temperature of 1000 to 1150 degrees Celsius, a porous ceramic is formed. To overcome the porosity, the fired object is covered with finely ground glass powder suspended in water. It is also known as glaze. and is then fired again. So as a result, the surface of the ceramic becomes shiny and its porosity disappears. So picture number 14.5, ceramics, we can see the ceramic articles. After that, sometimes we use some porcelain articles too. So this porcelain, it is a hard, translucent and white colored ceramic. It is made by using the white clay called kaolin, which is found in China. Glass, granite and the mineral feldspar is mixed with the kaolin and kneaded with water. The resulting mixture is shaped and fired in a kiln at a temperature of 1200 to 1450 degrees Celsius. On firing again, after glazing, beautiful articles of porcelain are obtained, and such a porcelain vessels we can use in laboratory too. After that, let us study about the bone china. So bone china, it is made by adding some ash of animal bones in the mixture of china clay, feldspar and fine silica while making porcelain. This ceramic, it is harder than porcelain. Advanced ceramics. So oxides like alumina, that is Al2O3, aluminum oxide, zirconia, ZrO2, silica, SiO2, and some other compounds like silicon carbide, SiC, boron carbide, B4C. They are used instead of clay for making advanced ceramic. This ceramic requires a temperature of 1600 to 1800 degrees Celsius and an oxygen-free atmosphere for firing. This process, it is called a sintering. So with the help of this sintering, we can make advanced ceramics. Ceramics can withstand high temperatures without decomposing. Ceramic, it is brittle, water resistant and an electrical insulator. So therefore, it is used in electrical instruments for coating the interior of a kiln, the outer surfaces of ships and the blades of jet engines. A certain type of ceramic tiles are fixed around the outer layer of space shuttle. Some types of ceramics, they are used as a superconductors too. So this is the end of our chapter number 14, substances in common use. Thank you students.